my formula for manifestation. First year I went through so much. I really overthought it. I looked at too many videos. I watched a ton of content online. I read a ton of content, and I was bouncing around all over the place. But eventually I brought it down to this. When I came away from this and thought, I cannot do this anymore. I just don't want to live like this. I want to forget all about it. I want to forget about manifestation, just go back to real life. But the thing is, once you know it, and you cannot go back. You just can't do it because it's there, isn't it? And it's always there. So I thought I just need to look at this in the most basic terms. What is it? And then I thought, okay, it's intention. So it's clarity of intention for sure, because I had manifested things that I wasn't clear about, and I could see why they had manifested in the way that they had manifested, because I just wasn't specific enough. And I do feel the subconscious needs us to be specific. So getting specific on what it is that you want, but not how it's going to come. You need to get away from that. I wouldn't even start conjuring up ideas of how it could come. You need to leave every single door open. When my son was into this, and he used to have a channel, Law of Attraction channel, he would say it's like 100 doors are open, and then you close 99 of them and just leave one open. When you are very specific about how it needs to happen. So forget about that. We don't need to know how it's going to happen, but we want it to happen in the most harmonious way possible. That is key, I find. You don't have to say that, but I like to say that because I don't want anyone to get hurt for me to get what I want. Clarity of intent. Then if it happens today, this is a really great exercise, because actually it's very fleeting, and everything for me needs to be fleeting, because if I let things go on, then I will feel the lack of them. Apart from the robotic affirmations that I've been doing, that's slightly different. But with this, I need to keep everything really, really short and sweet and to the point. So if I had what I wanted, so there's something I want at the moment, okay, so I bring that to mind, what I want. And what if I had a phone call that would tell me that I had what I wanted, that would be telling me that, yeah, you have this. How do I think I would feel? There's no right or wrong here. How would it feel? So all you're going to do is just imagine it. Just imagine it. You can see it in pictures, or you can just feel it if you can't see in pictures. Or you can just say the words to yourself. A really good way of doing this is just to imagine you're having a conversation with your friend, with a best friend or your mum or something, telling them that this has happened. And then that is you just getting the feeling of it. How does that feel? Then don't let that last any amount of time whatsoever. I would say as fleeting as you can possibly make it. For me, and you could even just see it as a Polaroid picture, a snapshot of what it is, the outcome that you want, and then you stop. And then the next part is letting it go. And that is arguably the hardest part of the process, isn't it? Letting it go. So what are you doing when you're letting go? You're not letting go of this. You're not saying you're giving up. You're not saying you don't want this anymore. I've got to pretend that I don't want it anymore in order for it to come to me. You're not doing that. What you're doing is you're letting it grow. You've planted the seed, you've put some water on it, and now it's going to grow. And if you keep going back to it, it's like you're digging it up. You're planting a seed, and then you just keep digging it up and digging it up and replanting it, digging it up, replanting it. You need to leave it to grow. You need to leave it to settle and bloom, and it can't do that if you keep poking at it. So it's leaving it alone. It's leaving it to something you don't understand. But actually, I believe that part is just the part of you that we don't understand. We haven't evolved enough to understand that. So that's all it is. That's the 3-step formula to manifestation that I ran with, and that's how I look at it now. It's clarity of intent, it's a bit of feeling, and it's letting it go. But actually, the bit of feeling that we get, you might say, well, I've never needed that. Well, yeah, because you'll get it when you desire it anyway. When you're setting your clarity of intent, you're actually getting that feeling anyway. So you could even leave the middle part out. But I like that 3-step plan. It worked for me. My brain liked it. I thought, yeah, I've got a plan now. I like to have some sort of plan, even though I kind of veer from the plan and things in my life. I'm like here, there, and all over the place. I like that it's a formula, and when I say it to myself, this is my manifestation formula, it kind of sounds right, I like it. It sounds like I have something that I can use, and I pass that on to other people. It's very, very simple. Another thing that you can do, just one little extra tip here, is because I like everything to be short, and this is a short exercise, you really sorry, my neighbour's cutting the lawn with a really extremely loud lawnmower for some reason. So you imagine, you get the outcome of what it is that you want. Let's say it's a person, you want a person, you see yourself with this person, a real fast snapshot, and you just look at it and it's black and white. And then what you do is you turn up the brightness, vibrancy. You just keep turning up until it's really, really bright. But you're looking at a 30-second exercise here, and then you just come away from it, you detach from it. And the best way to detach from anything is to immediately think about something else that you're interested in. Anything, not necessarily something you want, but something that's going on in your life, conversation with somebody, whatever. So you want to distract yourself in the moment, and then you're done. You come away from it, done. That's that last part of the snapshot bit. That is literally just an extra exercise that you might want to bring into whatever it is you're doing. And I'm just going to say this, my rule of thumb has always been, if it feels good or at least neutral, do it. If it feels bad, so any resistance, don't do it. It just isn't your thing. So not everything is everybody's thing. It's what works for you. We're very unique. Well, we're all unique, aren't we? And this is all unique to us. So what works for you may not work for me, and vice versa. But so you've got to go with what works for you, what feels good. No rules. Always remember, there are no rules here. No rules apply. When Neville said you cannot use vain repetition and have something show up, which would be robotic affirmations, I mean, that's not true, but that was true for him. He believed it to be true, so it would have been true for him, but it isn't true for me, for example, anymore. And I might have thought it was years ago, but I know it isn't now. And it isn't true for clients. And it isn't true for some of my clients that always work with affirmations. It isn't true for tons of other people talking about robotic affirmations. What works for you may not work for someone else. Whatever assumption you set for yourself, this will work and that will not work, well, that's going to be the case for you. So why don't you just say, everything has the potential to work for me? Change what you're saying, because actually saying everything has the potential to work for me is quite easy on the mind, isn't it? Yeah, if everything has potential, you're not saying it definitely does, but you're saying it has the potential. So you stop you stop setting this rule for yourself that this works and this doesn't work. Just have a go and see. Right, if you don't know anything about me, I'm an author, manifestation coach and a mindset coach. At the moment, you can sign up to my members area, which is on my website. You need to go and sign up there. It's on the coaching page, it's at the foot of the coaching page. You subscribe, it's £5 a month. You can cancel at any time, even after the first month. If you don't like it, just cancel. If you think this is not for me. When you do that, you will lose access immediately. That's the only thing, just to let you know, become aware of that. So you might want to wait until the next payment, about 5 days before your next payment is due before you cancel. That way you get that month's access. You still get that access. You get coaching, you get email support. So if you've got a question, just fire that off to me about any of the modules, because there's over 300 modules in there, or just in general. There are courses in there, and there are subliminals and meditations. I have a recommended people list as well, actually, which is people I've worked with and people I trust that you might want to get in contact with. Not doing the same thing as me, but variations on it. Okay, thanks so much for watching.